Hi everyone, I'm Mahala, and today I'm going to talk about how astrology works. And because astrology is an ancient science that goes way back in time. And, lots of people say, well, astrology doesn't really work. And that's been, at least the energy that's been around, but that has pretty much changed now. So a lot of people do believe in astrology. But they don't realize that, like the famous astronomers of ancient time, like Kepler and Newton and all of those people, they were all astrologers.
Mm-hmm.
They were astronomers, but they were astrology and astronomy was together at that time. And so I had been wondering, well, what's the mechanics of astrology and how does it work?
Now, how long ago was this?
1998.
Okay.
Okay, and so this was way back, like 15 years, 20 years ago. And so I was reading the Mountain Astrologer at that time, and there was this astrophysicist who's also an astronomer, wrote this article. It's a big, long article, and it was in the August-September issue of Mountain Astrologer in 1998, if anyone cares to look it up on the internet.
I will help them with that. I'll put a link to the article at the bottom of the video.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be great. And so I just want to read this first paragraph, which is in a nutshell how astrology works from a scientific point of view. And it says, right here, it said, an English astronomer named Percy Seymour has formulated a scientific theory of astral influences that describes the solar system as an intricate web of planetary fields and resonances. The sun, moon, and planets telegraph their effects to us via magnetic signals, says Seymour, an astrophysicist and respected authority in the field of cosmic magnetism. Omnipresent throughout the universe, magnetism is known to affect the biological cycles of numerous creatures here on Earth, including humans. In sum, Seymour's multi-link theory proposes that the planets raise tides in the gases of the sun, creating sunspots and their particular emissions, which magnetosphere, striking the Earth's magnetosphere, ringing it like a bell. These planetary magnetic signals are then perceived by the neural network of the fetus inside the mother's womb, heralding the child's birth. And so this is another one who talks about how planets affect a person is Bruce Lipton, and he talks about how when a baby is born, at the time that they're born, the planets are on a certain frequency, and all of the planets are in different frequencies, and they have different notes and different sounds, and so then with the planets making different aspects like they are in the heavens when a person is born, this forms one special frequency that that person, that baby that's being born, will pick up that energy, and this forms like a hard drive in the baby's brain. And then as the planets move through the heavens, as the child grows and gets older and stuff like that, the planets all move, and the planets move all the time. And so when the planets make these different configurations in the heavens, then that energy comes into the baby's brain, and then when that happens, then it triggers the energy from those aspects, and then the meaning of the aspects comes into focus.
And so when you're talking about that earlier to me, so I was seeing that as if every planet has its own vibration,
yes,
and its own frequency, like the Earth has the Schumann resonance.
Right.
If every planet has its own resonance like that, and they are moving through the solar system in their particular at their speed,
right.
When I think of that as everything's kind of spread out like the Fibonacci series, but it's kind of like guitar strings. All the strings are all aligned, tuned together, and when you get to certain frets on them, you get different notes out of them. So is that at all like what you were thinking about this?
Yeah.
And then the magnetism that you're saying. Magnetism seems really cool because when electricity and magnetism go hand in hand, from the scientific point of view,
right.
But magnetism creates this invisible envelope that we don't feel. Well, we don't really see, but we can clearly experience it. Bring two magnets together and they repel each other or attract each other.
Right, yeah,
That force is happening.
And then, of course, around the Earth, there's a magnetic field around the Earth.
Yes.
And then, like when the wind comes off the sun, the solar wind, then that hits our magnetic field, and it's kind of like the same principle as the planets affecting a baby when it's born.
And so when the baby's born at that particular time,
yes, at the exact time it's born,
all the planets and their configuration in the sky are creating a resonance with each other that happens to create one symphony that gets imprinted on that child.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, and that's why astrologers always ask, for your birth time. They need your exact birth time, and that's because when the imprint is imprinted on your brain, that's at the exact time you're born. And so, and then we all have crystals in our brain, and crystals are used as generating stations. And so we pick up different things from the crystals in our brains. Mm-hmm. And our whole body has been changing from carbon to crystal, in the last few years. And boy, that's been a hard job, because all of the ascension symptoms that go with changing their body have affected a lot of empathic people. And it's been quite difficult for them. Yeah. But back to this, different people, like Bruce Lipton recognizes like the hard drive is similar to a computer, because the computer has the crystals in it, it has a storage, it has the input, and so that's kind of like how it works. And then Bruce has proven that what we think is what we create, because of all the cells. The cells have all these little antennas on them, and as you think a thought, then you activate these little antennas on the cells, mm-hmm. and then the cells will say, okay, this is what we need to create now. Let's go ahead and create it.
Yes.
And so I think that that's a very interesting system. It's pretty awesome. How the body is just magical. It's amazing that we've been able to create these bodies that we have.
It's amazing what we run on too.
Right.
It's like a whole different topic.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And so, and then all of the signs have different meanings, and so there's like 360 degrees in a horoscope, and so each of them divide into 30 degrees, and each one is like Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo. And so all of these planets mean a different thing. And so Aries rules the head and the brain. And because Uranus has been in Aries, was in Aries for such a long period of time, the past 7 years, and is now in Taurus. But the Aries aspect from 2011 till 2018, it brought in a lot of the Aries energy. And that's why so many people were complaining about like headaches, their eyes being blurred, their nervous system being affected, because that is all the things that is affected by Aries. It's mm-hmm. in your head. Everything that's in your head is affected with Aries. And then we go into Taurus, and this is going to be the dominant energy in the next 7 years, because of Uranus being in Taurus for that time. And so one of the most important things, Taurus rules the body, the physical body, and the body of Mother Earth. And of course, we're all connected to Mother Earth. We're just part of the community of what we have. And so Taurus rules the throat and the speaking part. And so there'll be, instead of people complaining about their head and their headaches and their eyes and stuff like that, then you'll hear people start complaining about their throat. Oh, my throat's sore.
Or losing their voice, like I did a couple months ago.
Their voice, and at the neck too. And they say, I'm so tense, my neck hurts, and so the neck connects in with.
Which is why everybody in yoga has been asking for neck and shoulder stretches.
Right. Yeah. And so that will be a thing. So people are going to have to learn how to relax their necks and their shoulders and things like that, And then Gemini. And Gemini rules the lungs, and it rules the arms. And Gemini is the sign like with the twins.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so it gives like brings in both positive and negative energy, real dominant. I mean, all the planets pull in positive and negative, but being Gemini has the symbol of the twins. It's more dominant in that side that pulls in both the negative and the positive. And then you'll probably hear of people, because with Gemini, like right now, oh, my lungs hurt, or something like that.
Ribs hurt,
Yeah.
upper back.
Right. Yeah. And then we go into Cancer, and Cancer rules the stomach. And they say that, oh, people like to eat, and stuff like that. And so Cancer people especially, and Taurus people too. Well, I guess everyone likes to eat, but particularly those couple of signs, because Cancer rules the home and the family and the emotions. And so the main thing that people have been feeling in the past few years has been emotions, chaotic emotions, I guess you could call them, because we've been in a time of chaos.
Or if nothing else, just being aware of them.
Yes.
So rather than being insensitive to emotions, they're finally sensitive to it.
Right, yeah. And then we go on to Leo, and Leo rules the heart and the back. And the node, like the total solar eclipse that happened, was it a year and a half ago? That activated the Leo energy. And the node has been going through the sign, the north node has been going through Leo, and the south node has been going through Aquarius. And so that has been, there's been an awful lot of heart attacks, with all that Leo energy. And so, and people that have had heart openings, which sometimes they think they're having a heart attack, but they aren't really, because their heart will start palpitating and doing all these crazy things. And because when you're changing your body from carbon to crystal, you got to have your heart open, because the heart is the center of the body. It's what runs everything.
It's where our magnetism comes from.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Your magnetic heart is where you create from, and that's the most powerful thing in the universe. And then we go into Virgo, and Virgo rules the intestines, and both Gemini and Virgo rule the nervous system. That's a really big deal. and then Virgo is the only sign in the zodiac that has a woman for its symbol, and so that has a lot of really feminine energy. And so they say that the goddess is connected with the sign Virgo because of the symbol, astrological sign of that. And then Libra, that's the balance. And so a lot of Libra people, they kind of have a little hard time making decisions because their brain, it kind of goes back and forth. Should I do this or should I do that? And it also rules lawyers. That's interesting. But as far as the
lawyers are going back and forth all the
time. That's true. But I'm not saying that all lawyers are Libras.
They act like it though.
Right. Yeah. And also like the scale, it has well, that's a sign. The sign for Libra is the scales. The balance. And then we go into Scorpio, and Scorpio is the sex organs. And Scorpio rules the sign of emotions too. All of the water signs rule the emotions. Pisces is a very, very emotional sign, like a poor me type thing. Cancer is more quiet with their emotions. But Scorpio, they're deep. The emotions are deep, very deep with the Scorpio people. And they don't like to talk about their emotions. They would rather hide them, within them and their power chakras and stuff. And then we go into Sagittarius. Now Sagittarius is a fire sign, and that rules the hips. And Sagittarius people, as a normal thing, are usually pretty happy, and if they're in a good mood, they're real happy. Let's do this, let's go there, here and there, and move all around and stuff like that. And so that's a very active sign. And then Capricorn. Okay, we have with Saturn in Capricorn right now. I think that there's probably a lot of people complaining about their knees.
Oh yeah, my knee's been sore too.
Right, yeah, yeah. And so Saturn will be in Capricorn for another couple of years, and so during that time period, you probably say, oh, okay, something's wrong with my knees. I got to do something to fix my knees, you know, etc., etc.
A little bit of yoga will help.
Yes.
Always help.
Yeah. And then Aquarius rules the legs. And so then, oh, I noticed, like, lately I've been, the last couple of nights, been waking up with cramps in my legs, the lower legs. So I thought, oh, that must be the Aquarian energy coming through. Oh, I bet that's because Mars is in Aquarius right now.
Okay.
And so, and then it's the opposite of the Leo. And then we have Pisces. And Pisces rules the feet. And the feet is kind of like your understanding, the ground that you stand on, and being a very emotional sign, that their emotions can cause them to be very, get upset real easily. And Pisces are also, it's ruled by Neptune, and they're so kind of spacey people.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like you say, oh, my Pisces energy is coming in, and I feel like they're in some kind of dream world or something. And Neptune, I think Neptune rules the net because we've been in this imaginary net for thousands of years, and we're about to come out of it, and so that's a Neptune issue. And Neptune in a chart right now Neptune's opposing Neptune almost, because Neptune's in Pisces, its own sign.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that's like a double Neptune. And so that's the meaning of that. And then I was going to go into a little bit about what's going on right now with this.
We should probably do that in another video.
Okay.
We can do that in another video. Make it short, keep it short. We can put up the videos really simple.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go ahead. We're going to stop this here, and we're going to start another video in just a second.